Hello everybody, and to Adam Lad again, back again with a 1vx commentary video. I decided to do this because I've been getting a lot of feedback saying that it really does help them understand why I do certain things, why I'm so effective in PvP. And I just want to do another rundown of the intricacies of certain elements of being in a 1vx situation. All the factors and variables that you have to take into consideration, which targets to focus, when to cast certain skills, you know, gauging your opponent's distance and everything. There's a lot of things to take into consideration in a 1vx situation. But for me, it's more of an instinct now. It's more muscle memory. It's built into me over the years. 1vxing for years, 2vxing, 3vxing for years. So I kind of built into me now. I don't have to think about what I'm doing. Yes, of course, if a more competent player who comes into a 1vx situation, I'd have to be a little bit more considerate and be a bit more defensive. But the elements would still be the same, pretty much. And the most important thing in a 1vx situation is do not be tunnel visioned, be patient, and create your own window of opportunity to kill a player. You cannot kill a player, you cannot do damage, you cannot get the 1vx if you are dead. So be patient, wait for the correct opportunity. And anyway, let's get into it. As you can see, I've got no pressure on us, and this player is pretty squishy, so I just get rid of him. The second player that comes along here, I immediately could tell that he was a little bit more competent, bit tankier, could do his DK rotation, you know, he's healing, you know, he's doing all the right things. But he's no threat, like he's not doing enough damage, you know, I know that I could kill him. Unfortunately, he would have been dead there if I had the shock morph of Wheeled Soul, but unfortunately I don't have it. So, he's not really that big of a threat. He's trying to line of sight because he knows that I'll probably beat him. He's probably waiting for more players to turn up, which they do. And this is when it starts to get a little bit more interesting, because I now know that players are now going to be coming from the keep. So I know that this DK here, he will not be able to kill me. He does not have enough damage. So since I know this, I'm going to play a little bit defensive and evaluate which targets to focus. There's no point focusing on the DK. He's not really that much of a threat and he's tanky. So we eliminate him from the process of who are we going to attack next. This, I have hardly done anything and this guy is at half health. He is immediately squishy, right? This guy over here, I haven't really evaluated that just in this second, but I know that one of them is squishy, right? My reasoning to focus this target here was because I realised that this is a low level and he's only 900 CP, and if I eliminated this DK it would be a big annoyance out the way. So I took the risk, I tried to take him out. However, he played well, he was defensive, blocked, you know, etc. But more players have came in. So I need to get out of there. I need to start getting line of sight. So I streak away, especially when my stamina's low. And I have a quick look back to see how many people's there. I go to the rocks for safety. Now, I'm at the rocks now. And all these players have realised we can't attack him. He's up there. So I choose my targets. I know that he's a low level, so I start trying to apply pressure to him. He was smart and ran out the way, into distance. I still try and go for him, but there was more players there, so what I immediately did was I wanted to get line of sight as quickly as possible away from a situation like that. Notice how I went from seeing 4 people on the screen and 2 people behind us to now only having 1 person on the screen. That is how quickly you need to cover ground to line of sight, to relieve pressure. You need to do this as quickly as you possibly can. And obviously I'm moving around the rocks because they're also moving around the rocks, and I would like to keep the line of sight so that I can move into a better position, such behind the tree. The reasoning for moving behind this tree is because I know that some of the players will still be up here, and that means that they can't attack me because of the tree in the way, and that means that I'm now, it might just only be for a short time, but I've only got 2 people pressuring us. So in the next frame, in the next few seconds, you will realise what I'm doing here, and you'll see it quite often in my 1vx videos. I kind of strafe side to side on an object like this. This is for a few reasons. One, it allows me to change the angle in which how I can evaluate who is in the vicinity or not. Like when I was a few seconds ago, I could not see these players here. I couldn't see them. That's because the tree was blocking my line of sight. I slightly changed the angle to see what's going on. It also prevents these players from attacking me. And it's not just that. I can still apply pressure to these targets in front of me. You know, like moving side to side from objects, I can still apply pressure to them. However, all of them wanted to swarm on me, so I quickly casted a restore ult, and I got out of there as quickly as possible. Streak to the rocks, you know, cover some ground, make sure that they don't get those heavy hits off on me. Like I say, you've got to be very patient. I just rotate me defenses. Be very strategic in when you roll dodge. A lot of people just spam roll dodge. I find that a lot of SORCs, the more hybrid type SORCs that rely on roll dodge, there's no strategy behind the roll dodge. It's kind of inefficient. I like to basically reserve roll dodging and break. Well, I'll always break free from a stun, but sometimes I'll be immobilized. If I can face tank the pressure coming in to save my stamina, I wouldn't roll dodge. I use it a little bit more strategically. Anyway, I've covered some ground, and I can instantly see targets in front of me who I can focus, because I've got no pressure on us. Granted, my resources are a bit low, but there's less pressure on me. I've covered ground, gained distance, and I can see who I could potentially target. So I know that the low level's not going to do damage, and I know that DK is not, and this guy's not healing, so he is immediately going to be a target. I know that there's a person coming in, but I keep up my defenses, and this guy, yep, died because he just wasn't keeping his defense up. And I know I can face tank these, so I reevaluate the situation and have a look who I can focus next. This guy's not breaking free, so I will focus him and keep on the pressure because I know I can. And that's how I eliminated him. And Fred, he's a low level, and he obviously didn't really stand a chance. As you will see, this DK here, I know that this DK is going to be constantly applying pressure to me. He's going to be constantly putting me in a stun with Petrify. it plays into my advantage, this, because yes, of course he's attacking us, but the CP that I have allocated in this clip is Relentlessness and Juggernaut. So every time that I break free and get CC immunity, I get a 15% damage reduction. I play into this. When I get stunned, I know that I have a few seconds of 15% damage reduction. So what I tend to do is I focus a target in that time frame. And obviously Fred, this guy Fred would have died anyway, he's a lower level. But I do this with any target. You know. Anyway, he seems like a healer, so I'm not going to focus him. I'm most likely not going to be killing this DK because he's got a healer there. You know, I'll give it a go. Plus the siege, so I need to be very careful. More people turn up after this. Yep, a ganker tries to turn up. I read the situation there. I knew that he was going to go for an in-cap and I roll dodged it. That's just instinct. And a lot more people have shown up and there's siege coming in. So now, since there's new players and new factors such as siege, I have to re-evaluate what I need to be doing. So I rotate my shields, play very defensive, do not get tunnel visioned into attacking players just yet. You need to find out which targets to focus, so just be defensive. Again, just streaking through them, relieve some pressure. Roll dodge out the way of that siege, because it hits hard. I move away from the keep, because if any new players come, such as this guy, he's not going to be attacking me immediately, which could save your life. Again, I'm just rotating my shields, getting a feel for the new situation that I'm in, with the new players that have came in, the new variables and the new factors that I have to take into consideration, such as proc sets, siege, etc. Gain some distance, see the battlefield, see who I can focus. Turn round, immediately saw Fred has respawned. I now know that I can kill this guy again, because I'm stunned, I'm getting me 15% damage reduction. It's just going to be a repeat. There we are, took him out, eliminated him. Basically, this DK, since he doesn't have enough damage, he's playing into my aid for... He's basically aiding me at this point with a 15% damage reduction. Ganker's coming in, you know, quickly moving around trees to prevent skills from being activated on us. You know I can face tank some of it. I'm trying to get a feel for how tanky this guy is. He's not tanky, but he's very evasive, so I wouldn't primarily focus him. That heavy attack player, he is doing no damage. So I just keep rotating my shields. Trying to create myself a better opportunity to kill players. I'm in a 1v1 now. This guy really does not like me. But I've created the opportunity to potentially kill him because I've got no pressure on us. Unfortunately, a player comes to his aid and another one comes, and now I have returned into a different situation. New players, new variables, I need to re-evaluate. I have already killed this player right at the beginning of the 1vx. I don't know who this player is. I know who this is, and I know who this is. I'm most likely going to be focused on this target because I've already killed him. But I realise that the siege is still coming in, so I need to be very careful and create a better opportunity so that I can line up a quick burst and get rid of him. You know, streaking through them, covering ground, making sure that I don't get caught out. Now, in this situation, I was very clever. I realised, and I'll go back to being stunned again, and that's why this DK played into my favour, and that's why I kind of kept him alive. he gave me 15% damage reduction. This character, this guy over here, is low health. That few second window opportunity of being stunned allows me to pressure this guy because I've got enough mitigation. So what I do is I put an execute on him, and then since I know that I've got the 15% damage reduction, I can apply offense to kill the player and drop defense because I know that I am covered by my CP. And that's how I recovered. And to make sure that I survived, I casted my restore ult. I'm at good resources, I'm full health, and I'm back into a safe position. More players coming in. Most of these players are very tanky, so I try not to do too much offense because I just want to survive at this point. Any new player that likes to come in, I like to attack them first to see how squishy and tanky they are, how competent they are, and most of these players kind of semi-know what they're doing. So the casting ultimates, I mean, especially this guy, he just wants to get rid of me. Like, how cancer is that putting siege up? Anyway, I move behind the siege because he can't focus me when I'm behind it. You need to cover a lot of ground so that you're not standing in the AoE of when they cast siege. So I move around and reevaluate the situation, streak away from high pressure situations so that skills are now out of range. Again, just reevaluating the situation. There's a new person that came into the situation called Crazy Marxist. I don't know what level he is at this given moment, but I rotate my shield, play very defensive, and give myself an opportunity to see what is what. He's only level 99, and he's only got 22k health. He's going to be squishy. I know I can face tank the players that's involved, so what I do is get me 2 shields up, apply pressure to Crazy Marxist, and I'll get the kill. Just like that. Again, most of these players are pretty tanky, so I'm just going to be a little bit defensive, try and get a better window of opportunity to kill them. Again, as you can see, I don't roll dodge out of that petrify because I can face tank them. There's no point in wasting my stamina roll dodging out of that if I've got enough face tank ability. I try to get rid of Cat Weasel because I know that they are very, very squishy. Fortunately, they did the right thing and run away. Again, just reevaluate the situation. I know that I'm going to be applying pressure to that player in a bit. And I'll show you something here. When I am in a situation like this, right, where I'm low health, I'm put under pressure, my natural instinct is to pop a restore ult. The amount of times that restore ult has saved my life, it's actually unreal. This is part of the reason why I don't really like using Overload. One, yes, it's a carry Overload, but, you know, it's very effective at killing players. But the second reason is Meteor costs a lot, okay? Meteor costs... oh, hold on. Meteor costs an absolute fortune. And it will basically allow me to build up ultimate. I am far too tempted to use the ultimate up on Overload to finish off a player, and it's getting us killed because I have wasted that ultimate and I don't have enough ultimate for a restore ult. So when I'm in a situation like this, Meteor basically prevents me from wasting my ultimate so that I can drop onto my back bar and survive and cast a restore ult. You know, just like this. I'll show you in a second. I'm under a lot of pressure, I don't have enough stamina, and I basically have to cast a restore ult. I think I cast a restore ult. Oh well, I didn't. Oh well. I thought I would cast a restore ult there, but that's what I would normally do anyway. Luckily, SORC got a buff on it and just spam ward and go to full. But anyway, I've reevaluated the situation, and I want to apply pressure to this guy because I know that he is more than capable of dying. But he's running away, the smart thing to do. So I move back, see who's who, what's what, see if there's any targets to kill. And I know that he is more capable of dying. Now, I know this was very clever by me, and I specifically remember doing this. I know that this guy has the Nightblade teleport ability, and it gives me a window of opportunity to meteor him. If I put a meteor on him now, he will not be able to not get stunned unless he has CC immunity. I've timed the meteor with when he will land on my character, as you will see. He had no chance to block it, and therefore I knew that, put an execute on him, and he was toast. So I move back, reevaluate again, being very patient, knowing that I'm most likely not going to kill any of these players here because there's too much pressure coming in and they're pretty tanky. So I'll be patient, just survive, because a lot more pressure is coming in, because they called in the cavalry. They called in a lot more competent players, and I know that it's going to be a lot harder to kill people now. So I go to the rocks. It's one of the best places to line of sight, relieve pressure, as again, as you can see, a lot of players struggle moving around rocks. They keep falling off, which relieves pressure. Just comes with experience. Again, I know these players are not going to kill us, there's not enough damage. Not much to be said here, I'm just trying to survive, you know. Try and do some damage in the process if I can get a lucky kill. More players coming in. So I streak back onto the rocks strategically, away from them. At this point in the 1vx, I'm starting to realise that it's going to be basically infinite. They've got the keep. I've done basically as much as I can do to them, and in the fight I'm starting to get weary. I'm starting to get annoyed that players just simply won't leave us alone. Getting frustrated that new players are keep coming and this fight's endless. Plus, whispers are coming in. They're getting really annoyed that I'm not dying. But look, bro, you're outnumbering us, you're trying to siege us, you're trying to gank us, and you're failing miserably. Like, no need to whisper somebody, just take the L. Again, I'm just trying to keep line of sight, there's more players here. Getting more whispers. Trying to focus Kate Weasel again, but they're learning very quickly that if they keep in vicinity of me that they're going to die, so they're running away as quickly as possible. They're playing a little bit more smart, they're calling in more players. Move back away from the keep because I'm getting sniped. You know, gain distance away from them as quickly as possible. And I'm getting frustrated. I remember this clip. I was getting frustrated at the fact that none of these players I'd be able to kill. But I know that I could kill one of them. That Kate Weasel in the back. So I was like, I've done me 1vx here. It's good. I'm just going to go for it. Fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try and kill them. If I die, so be it. She knew, or he knew, that I was coming for them. Did the right thing. Ran away. And at this point, I'm just like, if I die, I die. I'm not really bothered. Because I was sick of being in the 1vx now. And that's pretty much it. Now, I could have clipped who bagged us after this clip. Right. The amount of people who sat on my body and bagged was ridiculous. But I don't want anyone to get banned. I think being banned for teabagging's silly to begin with, but you know, that's what Cinemax wants to do, and I don't want anyone to get banned. I'm just letting you know that I did get bagged by a lot of people. But yeah, that's kind of what I can do in a 1vx situation, and I hope that it does help you understand why I do certain things, where I do it, how I do it, etc. But the most key thing in a 1vx is to be very patient. If you're not patient and you're tunnel visioned and you just go, I want to kill them now, you will end up dying. It's why I like to play a little bit tankier, because you might as well play a little bit tankier and have that little extra time to survive, to get the extra hit off, the light attack, the execute, that you might not necessarily be able to get off if you're full damage. The only time where I would go full damage would be in a duel, because if I go 60,000k max mag, my shields are going to be absolutely humongous. I'm not going to die, basically, because I'm very good defensively in rotating my wards, but I'll have a ridiculous amount of damage. However, in a 1vx situation, those shields are not good enough to survive high pressure moments like that. So chuck on a defense set in open world, you'll not regret it. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I think for my next video I might release a Nightblade build, because I have been playing me Nightblade, and I've also been contemplating on doing my thoughts of the update 44 BG update, PvP update, because I do have a lot of opinions on that. But yeah, I hope this helped, and I'll catch you in the next one.